Hi everyone, welcome to the channel once again. My name is Colin, call sign MM0PX. And in this video I just want to take a little bit of a look at the components that I'm using for my phased verticals that I've been developing for the last few months. Now I've already done a kind of brief overview, but I had a couple of people ask me exactly what parts I've been using. So what I'd do is I'd like to look at some of these parts and we'll do a little bit of window shopping, and I can show you where to source them. So this is the circuit diagram that I followed by W4NFR, and I probably wouldn't have realised this project without this diagram. Certainly wouldn't have made it as quick. Now I've almost made it exactly like this, but there's a few subtle differences. I'm not using this 1K ohm resistor. I don't need that because there's already one built into the LED that I have. I don't have an on and off switch. When I plug the power in, the LED automatically comes on. The way I looked at it is if I had a power switch, then it's just something else to go wrong. I've got a lot of music equipment and it doesn't have, a lot of that just doesn't have an on switch. It's just something else to go wrong. So near enough everything else I've used. So hopefully this is going to work. So I've got a list of links. So we're going to go and have a look at those. And first up is the enclosure. So what we're using is the Hammond 1590C aluminium enclosure. Now this is the cheapest price I could find for it in the UK. I didn't actually pay this price. I actually bought this from RS Components, and it was about £13 or £15. So it was a bit more. But there's other things you need to buy from RS, and we'll get to that. So it's a difficult one because it's not the price of buying the parts, it's obviously the carriage, the shipping costs. Some of them could, especially with some of these trade suppliers, you might be buying something that's this price, but you pay as much again on shipping. So you've really got to watch. So it's a Hammond 1590C is the enclosure. And the next one. So you need to have a control line running between your relay box and the control unit, and you need a socket in them, and this is what I've actually went with. This is the SATO connector. So I was looking for something that was good, but it was also affordable and just a simple 3-pin. So this is what I actually went for, and these are not too expensive, but unfortunately you've got to buy them 5 at a time, so you need 2. So you're going to have 3 spare left over, but they're a good component. So this is the parts here. If I look back, so here and here, this is where I'm using those. If I just go down and try to find the other one. Here we go. So you have the cable that runs between the control box and the switch box, relay box. And this is the connector I use. So this is the matching connector for the SATO sockets that I just shown you. Again, they're not the cheapest, but they are quite good, and they grip the cable really well. So I would recommend these. You have got to be careful when you use them, but they're working fine for me. And the cable that I used was just simple 3-core automotive cable. So this is actually bought from eBay, and I actually bought a 30 meter reel, and this is what they had. It was just 0.75 14 amp cable, and this is what I paid. So this was delivered. This actually come from a company in Scotland. So it's up to you what you use. You could use probably a lot thinner than this. There's very little current that travels through this wire. So it's really just finding something that suits for you. Now, I happen to have a roll of this wire, this twin unearthed cable, just common electrical wire. But the wire that I needed for this project was the one in the middle, the bare wire. Now, if I go back and look at this, So this is the box. So these wires here, 1 and 2. So you need to short these out. So this is one of your verticals, this is the other vertical, and this is the delay. So to join these together, I just use bare copper. You could use any bare copper. You could use stranded bare copper. It really doesn't matter what you use. But that's what I had because I had it to hand. Let's have a look, see what else we've got on the list. Okay, so you've got 2 relays in the setup, this K2 and K1, and they're just single pole double throw relays. Pretty cheap components, and what I went for, this was actually after chatting to a guy on Facebook on a thread, I actually use a 12 volt automotive car relay for 2 reasons. One is that they're very cheap and plentiful, and the other is that they're highly rated, 40 amps. Now I've run full UK power with these and I've had absolutely no issue at all with them. So they will handle the power, certainly UK levels. Maybe if you're running 1000 watts key down, you perhaps have an issue, but certainly 400 watts key down, no problem at all. So no issue. I tested that out a month or so ago. So you need 2 of these. You can buy these on Amazon. And that's the ones that I bought. But if I was buying them, the reason looking at this Switch Electronics is you can also buy the Hammond 1590C enclosure. So you could buy these at the same time, so you could perhaps save a bit on carriage. Now, if I just go back to the drawing, now, unfortunately, I've closed the folder I wanted to. Let's open that. So this one here, yep, here. So these wires that connect the relays, you want something with a little bit of meat. So this is 1.5mm wire. So you're carrying a lot, you could be carrying a lot of RF, but 1mm wire would be more than ample. And I just identified it by using glue lined heat shrink, just whatever you have to hand. But if you've got different color wire, I used thinner wire just because that's what I had, thinner wire for the power to do the switching on both relays. That's all you needed. So in this link that we have here, I've just made an example. So this is 1.5. This is what I've actually used, but you could use anything. I'm sure you'll have something lying about. What else do we have? So you need to run, back to our diagram again. So you need to run coax. So you need, in my instance, so this is using 84-degree feed lines and a 71-degree feed line at quarter wave phasing. So as you know, I use 8th wave phasing, and I use a 39-degree feed line and a 157-degree feed line. I always get that wrong. I always get them muddled up, and people pick me up on it. But you need to pick a coax for that. And what I would recommend, certainly for the lower half of HF, is this stuff. This is excellent coax for the money. So in the UK, I buy this from Nevada. This is Mini 8. You get this all over the world. But buy something that's half decent. So this is just prices is for a 50-meter drum. I actually got a 100-meter drum. So this is what I'm using for my 40-meter verticals. For my 20 meters, I'm using some RG213 because that was what I have to hand. But I have quite a lot of this left. So I'm deliberately left it for 80 meters. I should have brought some more water shoe with me. So that's the coax I would recommend. For the control box, you need some sort of control box, and you may have a project box just lying around. You may not, but if you need to buy something, this is what I'd recommend, and this is what I've used. If I open up the picture, so here's the control box, and you can see clearly this is the SP3T switch. This is the LED, this is the power socket, and obviously you can see the 2 connectors. So this is the box that I'm using. You could use anything, really. You could use anything. But excuse me, These are good boxes, these, and they're all you need, and they're relatively cheap, so not a lot of money. Let's have a look at this. What's this one? So this is the LED. Back to our picture again. So this LED, and they're quite bright. You can almost see that in the picture. It's quite a bright LED. So these have the resistor already built in. So this is what I've used. And again, they're pretty cheap. So that was £8, so £2 each for one of these, and that's delivered from Amazon. So I've got Prime, so you get free delivery. So you might find them cheaper, but that's the ones that I've used. Now, the one part that's quite difficult to source, because there's not many companies that do them, is the SP3T toggle switch. So you're looking for a switch that's just on, on, on. So it actually has 4 terminals. It's got a common and then another 3 terminals. So quite often when you look on Amazon, you'll just put an SP3T, but that comes up with on, off, on. So you need to make sure you're getting the right one. So this is actually a great switch, and it's really good quality. Now, if you're going to be using this on phase verticals, it's not like you're just switching it and leaving it. You're going to be switching it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you want a good switch, but it's not cheap. £9.18. I think RS, I think if you order over £30, certainly here in the UK, you get free delivery. So I actually ordered the Enclosure as well from RS instead of from Switch Electronics. So it's up to you, but I would personally, I would recommend this switch, this Carling Technology switch. I actually bought one from eBay. I ordered 2 from RS, and I seen one on eBay, and it was like £4. And I was the only person that bid on it, and it was brand new, so I won it. So that was good. What else have we got? Now, I thought it was worthwhile adding these. So if you want to run 80 meters, you need a good pole. And if you're linear loading, this is the only pole that I recommend, and that's the Spiderbeam 12 HD. It's just fantastic bit of kit. That's all I can say about it. Once you buy them, you'll never go back. And my joint favourite pole is this one. So this is the one that you see in my videos, and it's been out of stock for ages. So this is Life's a Breeze company, and they get them branded. So this is the Pro Pole, Professional Heavy Duty Pole, and it is amazing. It's as good as a Spiderbeam, but it's only, obviously it's a 6 meter pole, so it's ideal for 20 meters. And you could even you could raise the feed point, so you could use it for loads of different purposes. I've actually chopped the eye off at the top with my Dremel. I probably should have kept it in hindsight, but it was easier for getting my adjustable top mounting clamps on and off easier. But look at the price, £25. It's an absolute steal. And I hope they don't see this video, because if they put the price up to £10, I would still buy them. They're really, really good poles. You can see by the weight of them, they're almost a kilo. But just a fantastic heavy duty pole. They also do a 10 meter pole for £60, and this is a steal. So if you're looking for a 10 meter pole, buy this one. You know, it's like a mini Spiderbeam. Now, I've never had one of these, but judging by the 6 meter pole, I'd buy this in a second if I need it. So that's the 2 poles that I use. So I'm not sure if that's everything I've covered. Oh yeah, here we go. So you need to put 5 SO239s. Now, five. Well, I'm not able to count there. 4 and 5. Now, I learned a lesson years ago by buying a batch of 50 from China, and they were absolute junk. Now, that's not to say that you buy from China that they're going to be junk, but they were junk. So I buy these SO239s from a seller here in the UK, M0MAT, and they're actually out of stock at the minute. And I buy a lot of different connectors from Matt, and they're first class, but they're not cheap. As you can see, $4.25 and they're delivered. If you buy more than that, you do get discounts. But if you look at what you get, the dielectrics, PTFE, center contacts, gold plated, Now he does have an eBay shop, and he's very reasonable for what he sells. So on all my Coax, on my adjusty waves, on all my kit, I use his connectors. They're just that good. You know, you could probably buy these for £1, but really, what are you buying? So that's my kind of advice: is if you're going to buy connectors, make sure they're good ones. You know, you're making your stuff for yourself. You're probably going to save a bit by making yourself. So, you know, why not do that? Yeah, sorry, that's the same link there. It just hadn't. It's so. Just have another little look here. So yep, so we've covered the enclosure, the relays. So the relays that I bought from Amazon, they actually have the mounting pad, and I actually had to cut away the plastic to remove it because it wouldn't actually fit inside the box. In order to get these SO239s to fit, you see, I had to stagger them to do this, but it keeps it nice and compact, and I'd recommend that you get the smallest box possible, because otherwise, if you've got big long tails to these SO239s in this one here, you're going to get little impedance bumps, and it could put your SWR off. So it's an idea just to keep them as short as possible. So it's a little bit of a guddle. What I do is I connect all the wires to the relays, and then I place them in the box and connect them up to the SO239s. And yeah, this is the obviously the switch box. So you need to make sure, so when you fit the LED, obviously they'll only work one way with the polarity. So you need to hook it up to a battery and see which is positive and which is negative, because it doesn't tell you on it. So what I do is I check which one it is, and I maybe need to turn it 180 degrees or not. And on the inside of the box, I mark it positive and negative, so I know which one to connect it to. And these wires are they're quite thin, very thin wires. You can see how thin they are. This was from a multi-core cable I used for a rotator years ago, and it literally takes milliamps to switch the relays, so you don't need to use bulky wire. Anything you've got lying around will work. So I'll just have another little look through here. So yeah, we've covered the chassis socket. We didn't use a connector strip. Covered the relays, the wire, the fiberglass poles. RG8X was what I recommended, but 2 and 3 is fine. It's just harder to bend. We talked about the 259 males. This is for the Coax. So I use these again. I use compression fittings from M0MET. We talked about the switch, the LED. We don't need the resistor. We spoke about the die-cast box, so the box for this, so that's okay. You do need to measure your feed lines and your delay lines. So my feed lines are 157, as I said, and the delay line is 39 degrees. But I've got a video on that, so if you look through my playlist for phased verticals, you will find that video. So the rest is kind of up to you and what you want to do. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's been done already. I've just used it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's not a lot of videos on YouTube regarding Christman phasing. It's something I thought I would never be able to do, but it's turned out to be easier than I thought. You know, I've had help from people, you know, a lot of social media, Facebook, Twitter. It's been really, really good, and I thank everyone that's helped me on this journey. It's, you know, it's a bit of a, no, it's not really a setup. You know, I can set this up in kind of 40 minutes myself, which is not really bad, you know. So it's working, that's the main thing, and I'm looking forward to continuing on and getting on with 80 meters especially, and as we get more sunspots, probably 17 meters and perhaps even 15 meters, especially once I can get down and work over saltwater. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate that this video won't be for everyone. It'll be very niche market for people that are interested in this kind of thing. But if it inspires at least one person to go out and buy the bits and make their own phased verticals, phasing network, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's I don't mind doing that. You know, it's all worth while to me. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. And we'll see you on the next video.